Shalom, everyone. In our series, Numerical Gems, we have seen there are many different ways to calculate the numerical value of words. In regular gematria, it goes from 1 to 400. In other words, the first 10 letters equal 1 through 10, but the 11th letter equals 20, and the 12th letter equals 30, and so forth, up to 400. But there's another way called the ordinal way of calculating, mispar siduri, where the number connected to the letter is its placement in the alphabet. So therefore, the 11th letter will equal 11 and not 20. The 12th letter equals 12 and not 30, and so forth. When we look at the opening verse of the Torah, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The second and third words, bara Elokim, God created in the ordinal way of calculating, equals 64. And that equals the word din, judgment. So this goes very well with the Midrash that says in the beginning, God wanted to create the world strictly from judgment, meaning that the world would be run what we'll call measure for measure, mida keneged mida, like clockwork, the laws of nature. They would be fast and true, and they would be set in their place, and there would be no altering them. Everything would work according to what we here would call judgment, law, and order. But God in the Midrash says he looked and he saw the creation could not exist with just judgment, just clockwork laws of nature. And so therefore he made it part of the fabric of the universe, also rachamim, mercy, compassion. And that's what the Midrash says. So here again, we have the words bara Elokim, God created, equals din. And yet there's an amazing thing here. If you take the whole verse, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and you calculate all of those letters of those words according to the mispar siduri, it comes to 298, which is the word rachamim. Exactly what the Midrash says, that in the beginning, God wanted to create the world just from judgment, from law, steady and true, but he saw that it couldn't exist like that because we need what's called tshuva, because we make mistakes and we go off track. And so God put into the equation, into the very fabric of the universe, the idea of compassion, rachamim. And here we see it in the numerical value of the whole sentence of Bereshit equals exactly 298 equals rachamim. So this is the perfect balance between din and rachamim. In other words, connected to the names of the sfirot between chesed and gevura. Gevura represents the laws of nature. And that's why the name Elokim, which equals 86, equals exactly the word for, the all-encompassing word for nature, ha-teva, equals 86. And that is gevura, the name of God attached mostly to the sphera of gevura. But then there's chesed, there has to be a place where not only everything works according to measure for measure, but there has to be God's compassion. And here we see it beautifully in a numerical gem in the first verse of the Torah.